The Freemasons. If you have ever seen the eye on top of a pyramid on an American dollar bill, you have already encountered one of the most famous symbols connected to this group. The Freemasons are the oldest and most well-known secret society in the world, and their story begins not in shadowy meeting rooms, but in the dusty workshops of medieval stonemasons. These were the men who built the great cathedrals and castles of Europe, and they formed tight brotherhoods to protect their trade skills and take care of each other. Over time, the actual stonework faded, but the brotherhood remained. By the 1700s, Freemasonry had transformed into a philosophical club for educated, ambitious men who valued personal growth, moral living, and helping one another succeed. Some of the most powerful men in history were Freemasons: George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Winston Churchill, and Mozart, among many others. They used secret handshakes, rituals, and symbols that outsiders are never meant to see. That secrecy is exactly what has made them the subject of conspiracy theories for centuries. The truth is that most Freemason lodges today spend their time on charity work and community events. But when your membership list includes presidents, prime ministers, and generals, people are always going to wonder what else is going on behind closed doors. The Illuminati. Almost everyone has heard this name, and almost everything people believe about it is based on myth. The real Illuminati was founded in 1776 by a university professor in Bavaria named Adam Weishaupt. He was frustrated that the Catholic Church controlled so much of public life, education, and politics in Europe. So he created a secret group to push back against that influence and promote free thinking and reason. At its peak, the group had around 2,000 members, mostly intellectuals, writers, and progressive thinkers. It lasted less than 10 years. The Bavarian government banned secret societies in 1785, and the Illuminati was shut down. That should have been the end of the story. But people began connecting the group to the French Revolution, to world wars, to political assassinations, and the legend grew completely out of proportion to the reality. Today, the Illuminati is used to describe a supposed group of shadowy elites, celebrities, politicians, billionaires, secretly controlling the world from behind the scene. There is no credible evidence this version exists, but the original group was real, genuinely radical for its era, and its short life has somehow inspired 300 years of speculation. Skull and Bone. Most secret societies hide in the shadows. This one operates in plain sight at one of America's most prestigious universities, and its members have gone on to run the country. Skull and Bones was founded at Yale University in 1832, and every year it selects a small group of students, usually around 15, to join. Once you are in for life. The alumni network of this single student society includes 3 American presidents, numerous senators, CIA directors, Supreme Court justices, and some of the most powerful figures in American media and finance. Members meet in a stone building on Yale's campus called the Tomb, which has no windows and is never open to outsiders. What goes on inside has been described by former members as involving unusual initiation rituals and a culture of absolute loyalty. What makes Skull and Bones genuinely unsettling is not the rituals, it is the outcomes. When the same small club keeps producing the people who run governments, intelligence agencies, and major institutions, the question of whether that is coincidence or coordination becomes very difficult to ignore. The Knights Templar. This is one of the most powerful organizations in medieval history, and their story reads like something out of a novel because it eventually became exactly that. The Knights Templar were founded around 1119, shortly after the First Crusade, with a simple mission: protect Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. They were warrior monks, men who took religious vows, but also trained as elite soldiers. They grew incredibly fast. Kings and nobles across Europe donated land and money to the order, and within decades, the Templars had become one of the wealthiest and most politically connected forces on the continent. They even invented an early version of modern banking. If you deposited money with the Templars in France, you could withdraw it in Jerusalem without carrying gold across dangerous roads. Then, in 1307, everything collapsed. The King of France, who owed the Templars enormous sums of money, had their leaders arrested on charges of heresy and secret rituals. Hundreds were tortured. Their leader, Jacques de Molay, was burned at the stake. The order was dissolved. What happened to their vast wealth and their archives was never fully explained, and that unanswered question has fueled legends about hidden treasure, secret knowledge, and the survival of the order underground. Stories that writers and filmmakers are still using today. Opus Dei. This one is different from the others on this list because it is not hidden. Opus Dei is an official organization within the Catholic Church, openly acknowledged by the Vatican. But its internal culture is secretive enough and its influence powerful enough that it belongs in any serious conversation about secret societies. It was founded in Spain in 1928 by a Catholic priest named Josemaria Escrivá, who believed that regular people, not just priests and nuns, could live deeply holy lives through their everyday work. The organization grew steadily and gained enormous influence inside the church. The concern that critics raise is about what happens inside. Former members have described being discouraged from telling family and friends about their involvement, being pressured to recruit others, and living under strict rules that felt more like control than spirituality. Some of the most committed members practice physical self-discipline as a form of devotion. Supporters describe Opus Dei as a deeply meaningful path to faith. The organization became famous worldwide after appearing as a villain in Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, though the portrayal was heavily fictionalized. The real story is quieter, more complex, and in some ways more interesting than the fiction. The Bilderberg Group. Every year, around 130 of the most powerful people on Earth meet privately for 3 days. No journalists are allowed inside. No minutes are published. No official record of what is discussed is ever released. This is the Bilderberg Group, and unlike most entries on this list, it does not even try to deny it exists. The group was founded in 1954 with the original goal of improving communication between European and American leaders during the early Cold War. Over the decades, the guest list expanded to include heads of government, central bank chiefs, technology executives, media owners, and military leaders. The official explanation is simple. It is just a private forum where influential people can speak honestly without worrying about cameras or political consequences. The concern that critics raise is also simple. When the people who control governments, banks, and media are meeting privately with no accountability, the public has no way of knowing what is being decided on their behalf. Bilderberg is unique because its power comes not from ritual or mythology, but from the straightforward reality of who is in the room, the Thule Society. This is the darkest entry on this list, and it deserves to be treated carefully. The Thule Society was a German occultist group founded in 1918, and unlike most secret societies which are built around philosophical ideas or fraternal bonds, this one was built around a deeply dangerous ideology. Members believed in the existence of an ancient Aryan master race, mixing Germanic mythology and mysticism with extreme nationalism into something that would soon have catastrophic consequences. The society was not simply a fringe curiosity. Several of its members and close associates became founding figures of the Nazi Party. The ideological seeds planted in Thule Society meetings, the mythology of racial superiority, the obsession with ancient symbols, the belief in a destined German nation grew into the framework that Hitler and others used to build one of the most destructive political movements in human history. The swastika, which the Nazis adopted as their central symbol, had deep roots in the kind of occultist Germanic mythology the Thule Society promoted. This group is a reminder that secrecy and ritual are not always harmless. When they are wrapped around hatred and given a sense of mythological purpose, the consequences can reach far beyond any meeting room and into the lives of millions of people.